I had expected to like Jack and the Beanstalk because I generally love cartoons based on nursery rhymes and children's stories, and I love Betty Boop. Unfortunately, I really hated this. It's not even that I'm indifferent about it, it's that I actively disliked the animation for this, and the story was just not that great. This was released in 1931, it's directed by Dave Fleischer, with voices provided by Billy Murray, William Pennell, and we have Anne Little as Betty Boop. And it is, of course, based on Jack and the Beanstalk, and it starts off with Bimbo. And there's something about Bimbo in this that I really didn't like. Generally, I like Bimbo, but not here. He finds a way to create a beanstalk, and he goes up it, and he meets this giant. I don't like the design of the giant. I actually hate the way the giant has been designed. I didn't have any specific idea in my head of what I wanted the giant to look like. I've seen many versions of Jack and the Beanstalk, and the giants are all usually very different. They all kind of have the one common theme that they're very butch and muscular, and this is certainly what we get here. But I really don't like his face, which sounds horrible, but I don't like the design of the giant. And then we see Betty Boop, who is tied up. She is the giant's slave, and I don't like the fact that she's the giant slave, but the way that that was animated I thought was very effective. There was an emotive quality to it. That's probably the only bit. That and the giant spaghetti. The giant is eating spaghetti, and I really liked the way the spaghetti was animated. I am clutching at straws to find something positive to say about this cartoon, but I did. I found Betty Boop being tied up to be very effective, and the spaghetti was very, very well animated. So credit where it's due. But the actual events in it are really boring. The giant is just not a very well written character as well. He doesn't come across as that scary or intimidating. He's angry, but there's just something about the way he's presented that I just really did not like. And Bimbo's involvement was not that interesting, and there's a little rodent character at one point who has an interesting face. Contrasting that with the giant's face, I actually think the rodent had some really great facial expressions, but I didn't necessarily love what it brought to the cartoon. And honestly, the story was really boring and just not what I was hoping for. And it's also very messy, the animation. It's very cluttered. There's a lot going on at any one time. And sometimes that's okay. For example, when we have the giant sitting at the table eating the spaghetti, the design is quite bizarre because it's like he's eating it off of a castle, which sounds weird, but it'll make sense if you watch it. And I didn't like that. I feel like there was too much going on at any one time. And as I said, when he was eating the spaghetti took up a lot of space on the screen. So that was the main focus. Maybe that's why I was drawn to that bit of the animation, because it was very clear to focus on something. But generally speaking, it's very messy and cluttered, and there's too much going on. There are a few moments where it's not so bad, but I found the animation to be really unpleasant to watch. And then you couple that with a really dull narrative, and it just doesn't offer anything. I would say watch it only if you're a Betty Boop fan, and like me, you want to watch every Betty Boop cartoon, or if you're particularly fond of Jack and the Beanstalk, because it's always worth watching a 7-minute adaptation to form your own opinions on it. Maybe you'll like it more than I did. I was very, very disappointed, and I will not be watching Betty Boop and Jack and the Beanstalk again.